This is my job, transporting large cargo. This time the destination is in the endless Gobi Desert. Due to the tight schedule, each vehicle is equipped with 2 drivers, taking turns without stopping. Our 13-member team eats and sleeps in the open, driving day and night, all to ensure we reach the destination in 10 days. For this mission, we are departing from Deyang, Sichuan, heading to a small town in the Gobi Desert in Hami, Xinjiang, 3,000 kilometers away. Due to the long distance and harsh driving conditions, we have prepared the transport vehicles, ensuring that every unit is in the best possible condition. The equipment being transported is not heavy, so we are using the smallest set of bridge beam transport vehicles, with the total length of the vehicle being 55 meters. Before departure, the mechanics gave it maintenance, focusing on the steering tie rods, which are directly related to whether the 128 tires on the hydraulic vehicle platform align. This involves not only maintenance but also correcting and adjusting any discrepancies to the predetermined length during loading, followed by testing. This is to prevent any set of tires from having errors that could lead to excessive wear. Regarding the tires, since the total journey for this mission exceeds 6,000 kilometers, the vehicle owner needs to replace any defective or excessively worn tires. The task of replacing dozens of tires was handed over to the guys at the nearby tire repair shop, and the sound of the pneumatic hammer was quite satisfying. The old tires that were removed also need to be taken along, with over a dozen used as spares. For the diesel engine, dozens of boxes of urea were prepared. As for the tractor, apart from maintenance, the mechanics removed the spare fuel tanks used for short distances and replaced them with a huge spare fuel tank. As a former travel blogger, I brought camping gear, including a camp bed, sleeping bag, and tent, to take naps at service areas along the way. The fridge is stocked with flavors from home that I can't do without, like pickled chili, Sichuan pepper chicken, and sausages, which can be heated with rice on the Gobi Desert to fill the stomach. This mission covers a distance 3,000 kilometers and requires delivery within 10 days. Every time I start a new mission, it's with anticipation, as if answering the call of the wild.
Please enter the cockpit immediately.
For the next 240 hours, the owner hasn't planned any stops for rest, so once you switch to the passenger seat, make sure to rest as much as possible. When we left, this place was still a golden wheat field waiting for the convoy's triumphant return. It must be harvest time by now. This time, we are equipped with 3 escort vehicles, with the 2 behind responsible for observation and lane control. I am in the lead vehicle, measuring passability and providing road condition warnings, essentially acting as the convoy's advance eyes. For instance, here, a commercial mixer truck is about to enter the main road. The lead vehicle signals the mixer to yield and simultaneously informs the convoy of the situation, allowing the rear escort vehicle to secure the far left lane. Once safety is confirmed, the transport vehicle changes to the left lane and slows down. Leave enough safe distance for any potential situations. Ultimately, the vehicle owner minimizes the risk and safely passes through the intersection. At 11 o'clock, the vehicle owner is about to enter the highway. The driver is rotating for the first time, having slept intermittently for a few hours and feeling quite good. I splash cold water on my face to stimulate my not fully awakened nerves, marking the start of my battle time. After the vehicle owner gets on the highway, although it's much smoother, more effort is required to observe the driving conditions. There is a big speed difference with other vehicles, and all operations of the transport vehicle require the escort vehicle to provide warnings. This is my first time on an ultra-long distance escort mission. I hadn't realized the difficulty of this task and was excited. On the road out of Sichuan, there are tunnels one after another, and the transport vehicle needs to drive in the center to avoid the cargo scraping the tunnel ceiling. Therefore, advance notification is also required to facilitate the escort vehicle in warning other vehicles.
I'm entering the tunnel 800 meters away from you. Once this small car passes, there won't be any other cars.
This is a small tunnel. It's so narrow on both sides. The young driver held on until 3 o'clock, completely exhausted in spirit and energy. After switching with the experienced driver, he was completely numb. But this is the norm for long-distance drivers. At 4:15, the crew stopped at a service area to refuel and check the transport vehicles. The drivers got a 2-hour rest period. At this moment, the camp bed gave me the greatest happiness. Until dawn, the maintenance team was still busy, but fortunately, they could take a short nap during the day. After 24 hours of turmoil, you can visibly see the exhaustion. You'll notice there are fewer materials for this episode because I was too tired to focus on filming. Fortunately, there is breakfast available today. Mechanically replenishing energy, we continue back to the battlefield. This is the electric truck. After swallowing the Ruggiamo, it was my turn for the watch again, but this time I only managed until 1 AM. Just as I was about to sleep, a loud noise came from inside the tunnel. After the rear escort vehicle set up the warning, the mechanic urgently checked for issues. The issue was found, and we were trying to handle it. The reason was that an old tire on the first bridge had burst. To prevent the tire's steel wires from causing damage, the hydraulic lines were lifted separately, leaving the faulty bridge suspended. We headed to the nearest service area to change the tire. As the lead vehicle, we arrived early to check the parking conditions. The service area 7 kilometers away was already full of trucks, but fortunately, we managed to ask a truck driver to make a narrow passage for us. After clearing the area, we informed the vehicle owner to enter the service area. Because the vehicle is too long, we usually prefer not to stop at such small service areas, as entering and exiting is quite troublesome. The trucks were parked end to end and side by side, which is an effective way to prevent financial losses, but it meant we could only depart with them in the morning. Meanwhile, the maintenance team was inspecting the vehicles. The drivers need to seize the time to rest. We received a notification that there is road construction 50 kilometers ahead, so the transport vehicles are on standby at the service area, and we need to arrive early to check the situation. After crossing the Qinling Mountains overnight last night, the terrain has become more expansive. Water barriers are used to guide traffic off the highway to detour around the construction area. Various machinery is operating ahead, clearly making it temporarily impassable.
If you're driving a large vehicle, you have to follow along.
Waiting until midnight. To make a change, this is troublesome. Originally, the entire team was traveling day and night, and now we're forced to rest for over a dozen hours. After the commander noted down the contact numbers of the on-site personnel, we headed down to Guyuan to wait, and took the opportunity to find a restaurant to enjoy a fresh meal. In unfamiliar places, it's best to choose a restaurant with many locals, as it's less likely to be disappointing. The main thing is to eat buns. 2 meat ones and 2 vegetable ones is the lotus root dish, okay? On the highway we usually don't stop, so this is a rare opportunity. This bun shop is worth recommending, but this isn't a tourist spot, so you wouldn't come here without a reason. Even at midnight everyone can connect and enjoy the lamb and green onion filling, which is quite impressive. This is also related to the quality of Ningxia lamb. It's only 10 p.m. and we are meeting up with a convoy. All the large vehicles are waiting for clearance within the safety zone set up by the water barriers. After a 20-hour halt, the team set off again, with the escort vehicle carrying the mechanic leading the way. Because safety cones are set up at intervals, the width left is only enough for regular large vehicles to pass, but we are not regular. What's more troublesome is that after driving just a few kilometers, we found that a paver was occupying 2/3 of the road. I believe the leader's heart sank because if we can't leave today, we'll have to wait another day, and we can't afford to wait as we're pressed for time.
I was just saying maybe I could trouble the operator of the paver to give me a lift when the time comes.
He's worked hard too, and I told him I could pay him overtime. Otherwise, more than a dozen of us would be stuck here. We managed to get the phone number of the car owner from the paver and asked him to arrange for a driver to move the vehicle. At 1:30, the driver arrived. Not later.
There are devices extending from the paver forming a square, and they can't be dismantled quickly, so we can only try to get as close to the guardrail to make way. Not at the drop point.
Measure the width closely, but it's obviously not enough. The operators had another idea, using wooden sleepers to create a step, letting the machine back up onto it, so the extended part rear hangs over the guardrail. In this way, they finally obtained enough clearance for passage. At 2:50, the driver successfully passed the obstacle, thanked the operator, and continued heading towards Sichuan. Along the way, we encounter various incidents, which is why, even though we have 10 days, we still travel day and night. We need to allow time to handle unexpected events. This kind of safety convoy stretches for over 10 kilometers, with 2 escort vehicles alternating to clear and restore the path, until finally exiting the construction-closed road at 4:10. Me. And then the teeth too. Here, fields of corn are planted, and in the morning sun, the distant view is visible. Wind turbines stand, and trees are sparse, so magpies like to build nests on utility poles. I've gotten used to the reversed days and nights, which has treated my insomnia. On the 5th day, the crew smoothly entered the desert. Because of the wide open view, the monitoring work became much easier, but it was still an endless drive. Crashing is a mandatory lesson for every pilot. Besides the value of the aircraft itself, losing the footage shot over several days is the most disheartening. In fact, the remote control should have the plane's location, but this time it didn't work. As sunset approached, I became increasingly anxious. Darkness would mean a complete loss of opportunity, but unfortunately, things didn't go as hoped. At this time, the transport vehicle had already reached the next station. The driver had been driving day and night on the highway for 6 days, and we desperately needed a perfect sleep. This is the accommodation condition in Bacol, a small border town just 130 kilometers from our destination. Given our budget, I wasn't hopeful.
Sitting here is much better than being in the car, but it actually doesn't seem too bad.
Besides getting a good night's sleep, there's one more thing that can boost morale. The plain water was quite hot, and at first it burned the mouth and throat. Everyone looked serious, struggling to swallow. After a few cups, all the fatigue evaporated along with the steam.
Use that 99300 to give him a jump start. Thank you. Thank you. He said he would pay us, but what money? This old fellow ran out of power in his truck last night and asked us for help. The nearby coal mines all use these containers to transport coal. In my understanding, this is probably to reduce dust.
Start the engine.
The energy infrastructure at the frontier is astonishing, with wind turbines covering the vast wilderness as far as the eye can see. The energy produced will reach Chongqing through the power grid in 0.01 seconds, and our destination is the coal power plant supporting the electricity to fish project. We are already very close to the national border, and beneath the endless sands lie rich treasures. After traveling over 3,000 kilometers, on the 7th day, we finally saw our destination from afar. It is quite an honor to be indirectly involved in such a project. The electricity generated here travels to reach Chongqing, covering a straight line distance of over 2,200 kilometers. The intensity of the infrastructure is astonishing. The workers begin organizing the parts, waiting for the equipment to be lifted. Another group of people went outside to arrange lunch. Since the nearest restaurant is tens of kilometers away, we finally reached the outdoor cooking part that I had been looking forward to. The rice is cooked together with chunks of pure meat sausage, infusing the entire pot of rice with a meaty aroma. The rice cooker is less than 1 kilowatt, and with the 2 kilowatt hours I brought, it's just enough to cook a few times without any issues. Next we need to use the large steamer, and my high-powered stove comes in handy. These are all tools I used during my travels. The side dish is Sichuan pepper chicken brought from my hometown. He couldn't open the lid in time, so it needs to be cut into small pieces to go into the steamer. While Chang was cutting the chicken, the transport vehicle had already been unloaded, and the equipment was dispatched. Once the transport vehicle is dismantled today, we can go home. We cut up 2 chickens, which is enough as a side dish for about 10 people. After successfully delivering the equipment, the outdoor cooking became incredibly enjoyable. The fatigue of many days and all the anxiety just vanished. It's ready. You can see that Sichuan people, whenever possible, will not skimp on treating themselves well. After lunch we need to dismantle the transport vehicle to make it easier to take back to Sichuan. The transport vehicle is like a big set of building blocks, dismantled into small pieces. The hydraulic board also needs to be combined into one with 2 vehicles to make traveling easier. After completing the task, I went back to the place where the plane was lost. This time Brother Chang came with me to try our luck, but as you can see the chances are even slimmer.
outside it, well, I haven't gone out either.
Upon reaching the location, fortunately the lost plane was found by a cattle herder after several days and returned, which is how we got those images. This is my work transporting large items, and these are the stories of the drivers.